There you have it. Two main water storages, being the Hume Weir and Lake Mulwala, they are now behind me. From here on, I'll be on the free-flowing Murray River, albeit numerous lockages to negotiate. So onwards and downwards, nearly 2,000 kilometres from the river mouth, I only had 125 metres of descent. Chuck you back. Bloody wild weather. Oh, there you go. There. This was day one, I would have packed up and home, I think. And I'm shagged. Back on pack. So we took off from Yarrawonga this morning about 8 o'clock. We've been on the water for just over 2 hours now. So we've officially got less than 2,000 kilometres to go, not much less. I portaged around the rear wall yesterday afternoon, got myself a feed, nice little cafe in the edge of the lake, and then loaded the kayak up and carted it over to the caravan park. By the time I got there it was about 3 o'clock, so bugger it. I put the tent up and camped the night in the caravan park, which was pretty good, except I was under a street light and it was a full moon, so pretty bright old night. Got a feed at the pub. Tim and Caroline and Amy. So 3 independent crews, Tim and Caroline being a team of 2, Amy on her own and myself on my own. So we went to the pub. They were all having a rest day. The mall, Yarrawonga. Pushed on, so possibly won't cross paths with them again unless I have a rest day and they catch up, of course, which is highly possible. It was great to catch up with them, other folk doing the similar sort of thing, and some great stories and experiences shared. So what I've noticed on this section of river between Yarrawonga and the next town's Cobram, I think it's about 70 k's from Yarrawonga. So from here 55, 56 k's, certainly won't get there today, but there seems to be lots of camping opportunities. Big beaches, all the bends have got good access. A lot of them have got a lot of people in them as well. Seems to be a lot of people set up shop on the bank, living there. Not sure if it's a COVID thing or it's normal. But certainly some permanent looking camps set up. A few boats on the river fishing. It's not school holidays or anything, so yeah, maybe it's just what people do this time of year, come and set themselves up for an extended period of time after luck. So we're going to push on today, and there's a little bit of a flow. So So we'll make the most of that, and you know, ideal world I'd get 50 k's in, but you know, it's a long way to go to get that in today. Anyway, full motor on. Perfect day actually. There's not a breath of wind, the water's like glass, and a slight flow. So at the moment, or this morning so far, I've been, oh, there's a big lure there. 7.6 kilometres an hour, which is what I'm doing now. No, that's a good pace. I'm very happy with that. That's sustainable, I'm sure. Anyway, we'll poke on. Simple meal tonight. I just wanted to sit dinner into me so you can hear me over that. Pasta and sachet of flavour. Simple, bit of parmesan cheese on it. I want to get going early tomorrow. I'd like to be on the water by 7:30, and probably be getting into camp about this time, 5:30. I want to do 60k tomorrow. Next couple of days I want to pace myself and get consistent biggish days. So come the weekend, I'm in the right spot at the right time to do what I want to do. good little stove, but it goes through the gas. You know, those little canisters only lasted me 3 days at the most. Yeah, towards the end of the 3rd day I've probably got to change it over. The last cup of tea or something. So yeah, they don't last long. A bit wasteful really, but very convenient. Now that just boiled 2 cups of water in a minute. So, you know, from this point of view where you just want something quick, easy, it's good. Sun's gone down. It's obviously west. Park the boat up, put it to sleep down there. Turns out I've pulled the boat up here and set up here. A little bit of grass, sort of. Some sort of caravan park out the back there. I went for a walk before and I'm not sure what it is. I can't see it on any maps or anything. But it's big. There's a lot of vans or cabins and stuff there. Anyway, so yeah, I want to try and do 60 k's tomorrow. That'll put me at a place called the Gulf. There's a camping and picnic area there. I mean, I feel like this next 3 or 4 days is, maybe from here on, I'm not sure, it's going to get a bit challenging for camping. I don't know why I think that. So we'll plod along. I mean, it's about being able to get the boat out of the water. I'm not the first to do this, so there's obviously opportunities, but it's just about how long into the day you need to push to find one of those opportunities, and then what you're prepared to put up with or tolerate from a campsite point of view. The problem I'm having is that the tent is sodden of a morning, just soaked. You wring it out, it's just, so I don't get a chance to dry it of a morning. So I've got to find a spot at the right time of the day before the sun gets down. So 4:30 at the latest to get half an hour of sun on the tent, as long as I'm facing the right way down the river, to dry things out. And then I've got to quickly get it up. But the problem is, because it's sodden and then everything's sandy, you lay the tent down and it's just ingrained with sand. It's horrible, actually. It's horrible. Anyway, I might learn how to drive it all. So we'll have some dinner, a cup of tea, and an early once a night, charging a bit of gear up. So there you have it. Bit of bloody pasta, bit of flavour stirred through it. Parmesan cheese on top. A few hours paddling in that, I think. That's why I look forward to getting into towns and having pub meal. This is good, but pub meals are real good, usually. This is about the earliest I've been on the water. So I've been in the water for about an hour. And of course, 5 seconds into it, the camera battery went flat. But it was an early start. I got on the water at 7:30 and it's pretty spectacular. A lot of mist and the sun low in the sky. A little bit of mist still hanging around, but most of it's gone. I want to put in a big one today. I'd be happy if I can get 60k in. And I think I'm probably going to have a couple of those in a row, maybe even 3. So I can get down to Echuca by Sunday night. There's a lot of school groups camped on the shore, like really good. I've seen spots, beaches. Cool sun. Alright. Good little spot there on the corner. We'll pop the afternoon sun and the morning sun. There's a big wedge-tail eagle back there in the tree which is stirring up the coffee. Not happy at all. This section of river would see me pass under multiple bridges, the first of them being Cobram-Karuga Bridge. The original bridge was built in about 1902, since been superseded by a newer bridge of about 2006 vintage. Then I'll be passing under the Tokemore Rail Bridge, built in about 1895, firstly as a road and rail bridge, since been superseded by the Edward Hilson Bridge. It was built in about 1987. 212 metres long, it now carries the new highway, which is a major freight route between the capital cities of Melbourne and Brisbane. These older bridges are known as a lift-span bridge, of which there were about 12 constructed along the river, or across the river. They were originally designed by Percy Allen in about 1896, with significant improvements in about 1899 by Ernest Macartney de Burgh, with construction being undertaken by Sir John Monash. So I set myself a little challenge. It's a good spot to have a little fire, except it's a campsite that obviously gets a fair workout, and I thought, alright, let's practice a little bit of bushcraft. So I give myself a boundary. There's a fence around this little campsite, and I've got to collect enough wood for a fire to cook my dinner and boil a billy for a cup of tea in that campsite area. A spot that's been well picked over. Oh, I've got myself quite a little stash there. I reckon I'll have enough to boil a billy twice and cook dinner. Now, cooking dinner is as simple as boiling a pot of water, but anyway, it's dinner. It's another meal I won't need to use my gas. So yeah, just a little challenge. Looks like the place has been fair flogged. But when you start poking around, there's a bit of stuff laying around on the ground, a bit of wood. Probably feel sorry for the next bugger that wants just a little bit of kindling to stoke his fire up. anyway, they can walk a bit further. So that was my challenge. I reckon I'm going to succeed. So this spot, I'm in the Barmer Forest. It's a place called the Gulf, G-U-L-F, campground. And I've paddled about 55k today. My calculations were that this was going to be 60k's. I'll take that, that's easy. No, it's not easy, easier. To do that though, I was on the river at 7:30 and I pulled up here 4:15. I didn't bum around, I was on the move all day. Half an hour for lunch. So my plan is to try and replicate that, do that again tomorrow. If I can do 55k, it'll take me right through the Barmer Forest to Barmer. And I'll go have a look. I think there's a campground there, a caravan park. Hopefully there is on the river. If not, I'll have to pull up a bit earlier. So if all goes to plan, Barmer tomorrow night, and then another 50 odd k day to Echuca, or probably more like Moama, the New South Wales side. There's a caravan park in Moama, which is upstream of Echuca, and that'll be another 50 odd k day, 3 in a row. And I reckon by the time I get there, providing the conditions stay the same, weather, by the time I get there, I reckon I'll deserve a day off. Yep, that's the plan at this stage. At the moment, I'll just enjoy this little billy fire and have some dinner in a minute. Going down through the choke, through the Barmer Forest. It's a big southerly run here, predominantly southerly, very narrow, and evidently a lot of snags. And just picking the line, there's a bit of flow, which is good, as long as it doesn't bring you undone. Just come out of the end of the choke, and I think there's some lakes out the back either side here that drain in or overflow. Little did I know it at the time, but nearly 12 months ago I stopped just over here on the bank one day with the family, and we boiled the billy and cooked some snags and a little fire, and we come down to the river and poking around, and I watched the water going past and I thought, what a great thing to do. I'd always sort of had this notion that traversing the length of the river Murray River would be a great thing to do. How was another story, but anyway, that day when we're here, I thought, what am I waiting for? When's the right time? Let's just do it. So we went home from that trip and I bought myself a canoe, a kayak, this one. Started training in the lake at home, and just under 12 months later, in fact it's probably it's the end of April, 11 months, I'm back here having just traversed a bit over 600 kilometres of the river. It's a great little campsite there at the bottom end of the Barmah forest. I think tonight I'm going to push on, it's only 2 o'clock, I'm going to push on down to the Barmah township, and they tell me that there's a pretty good Barmah Palmer, so I think we'll have a crack at that. I feel like we've come full circle.